Hey, lovely people. Today I want to talk about the practical reasons why you don't have friends. Okay, I'm gonna be real. This is, people love when I talk about the topic friends. I have this podcast, and my most listened episode was about exactly this. The practical reasons why you do not have friends. Okay, I have a beer with me. I need to keep my mouth hydrated. I know I need to drink water, but like my bottle's somewhere, and I don't want to pick it up right now. This is so real, by the way. Okay, so firstly, the question starts with you. Okay, I'm not gonna be the person who's gonna say like, okay, you know, maybe you need a season of isolation, and it's the other people. No, it starts with you. Are you an emotional available person? Okay, and I can definitely be this critical because I used to be uh, a real azal ganger. So someone that is choosing to be very distant, that walks alone. Definitely in my country, we have like different sorts of. I'm not from America, but like in Europe, our school system is different. So between high school and university, you have like this thing. And I was trying to say, like, in that season of my life, yeah, I was very an angel ganger, and I had if I'm very honest, a quite a self-pity party. I just never felt like I fitted in, and you know to give myself, I don't feel bad about myself. I don't also feel like that it's healthy for people to be in a long state of a self-pity party, because you will it what it does, it keeps you in a victim mindset, and victim mindset is not a great energy to exhibit. You give out energy that actually attracts, especially like the wrong types of people in your life, people who can take advantage of that. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what I was trying to say is, the practical reasons why you do not have friends has to start with the inner work. And as someone who is actually shy, has been an inselganger, is an introvert, um, and I also gave myself these explanations of because why I didn't really attract friends in that time period. And you can do this self-diagnose, but I recommend you do not stick too long in this, because what I see then, especially with introverted people with that personality type where they overthink things, is that you should not be telling these types of people that they should be, yeah, have to just feel bad about themselves. You should not let anyone feel bad about themselves, but like specifically that victim mindset of, oh, it's so sad, like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Let me also put like the other points what I wrote down. This is also like, I don't know what specifically could be your situation, but I'm gonna point out like most likely mindset and situations that people exhibit when they are in this state of like, I don't have any friends, I feel lonely. Think about also this. Do you maybe see friends as an aesthetic instead of, a genuine bond that you grow, that you go through thick and thin, that like transforms or like shapes, dependent on which season of your life you're in? Because to be honest, friends as an adult, from 20s and up, is not as in kindergarten. It's never, to be honest, going to be like as it was in kindergarten. In kindergarten, you were just sat in a random ass class by a random ass system. People with so diverse as background. You were put in the same classrooms, and y'all were young. Y'all are just trying to play at the playground. So it was just like, hi, my name is la la la. Hi, my name is la la la. And then y'all be friends, and y'all just, and even if the parents, even if sometimes if parents didn't even click, the friendship still works because you were a kid. Y'all were kids, and kids just like to play, I mean, that's how my experience was, and what I see a lot of in other people's childhood kindergarten experience. But stop expecting friendships as an adult to go the exact same way as it was in kindergarten, okay? Most of us have work, different life schedules, different priorities when it comes with family and friends or potential friends, that it's like it asks for you to be a little more creative with the way how you see friendships and how friendships can start, okay? I know there are friendships apps, like Bumble or like friendship. What are people trying to do right now? I've also been long ago, like 7 years ago. I've been an attendee of like some Facebook friendship group where you meet up with people in the same country who also would like to meet friends. And these initiatives are nice, they're great. They are, trying to solve the problem of people wanting friends. Oh, this fly. But yeah, the thing is, what the problem is with these types of platforms online specifically is that these are the same type of people that then wait for friendships to fall onto their laps. And I'm a big advocate for offline contact. You will find the most genuine bonds with people you actually meet in real life. And usually it's spontaneously. You don't have to plan it out. I feel like when you plan it out on social media, when you are put in a WhatsApp group, there is where you get that aesthetic friendship vibe as well. You see on Instagram a group of friends, they look pretty, they look like they have fun, they do things, they vlog. And then you start romanticizing friendships as a whole. But who says that your friendships or the friendship you actually are looking for is the same aesthetic or vibe that you see that is portrayed online? Maybe that's not per se what you want, but you think you want that because that's how social media works and stuff. Something to think about. Also, this, accept that clicks are inevitable. This was also something that I needed to learn. This self pity party mostly came off the fact that I saw people, click with each other, and I interpreted it as like people are not clicking that much with me. Why is that? Or like it doesn't look the same how they click with them. Well, duh, because people have different personalities. And what come to find out, I'm actually a very conscious person. I am very like not only deep in my thinking and what I find of opinions, but also in my whole aura. I've noticed that people have sometimes like to point it out, but it was not clicking for me yet that I operate in a whole different vibe. People actually perceive me sometimes as someone who's maybe too serious, So the way how I notice people who try to come up to me is very much different than they would come up to someone that has like a very extroverted energy, And that does not mean that you are not friendship material. It just it's just the aura, the vibe you give off, and if you just can just own that, or like, don't make it a big deal, and just accept that if you want like extroverted people in your life for some reason introverted people are attracted to extroverted people. I think that's because the psychology maybe behind that is because it's opposites attract. So you find it very interesting how people who are extroverted can just vibe without thinking too much, So, but my tip is, as an introvert, if you try to be friends with extroverted people, then also don't think too much, don't overthink. I know it's harder said than done, but don't overthink the whole situation. Don't overthink how you look up to them. Don't even overthink how long you are looking in someone's eyes. I get these things. Like, please don't overthink it. You people can tell, and it's too much to navigate. Okay, you can be an observer, but sometimes some. I get that though. I get that though. Let me just. Okay, so sometimes next point. Sometimes you have to be the invite yourself. Okay, as an adult, it's actually more confident, and actually you are way more magnetic if you insert yourself in conversations, in occasions, as the one that's invited herself. Sometimes you, and a lot of the times actually as an adult, people are just, you are at a party, or like maybe just walking, and you see people just hanging out or talking behind the cashier. And if you generally sometimes find a conversation interesting, just sometimes allow yourself in the conversation. I think you can also overthink potential friendships too much if you are like, yeah, I don't know if they like me. I don't know if they would, appreciate me talking. Okay, but if you continue to do that every single time, you don't expect a whole friendship to come out with it, but it actually also helps with your social skill. If you allow yourself in some sort of unpredictability, some sort of, when people are talking about a case and you wants to just talk, because you are human and we are social creatures. You can just talk. Not everyone is out to get you. And like, the worst thing people are gonna say is like, sorry, we don't know you, can you just not comment? And then like, you just move on, life moves on, like it's not the end of the world. Like, and it's most likely not gonna happen. For me, I don't think that ever happened to me before, like where I just was spontaneously like involve myself in an invitation or conversation. Because you also have to feel the vibe, when you are developing actual social skills instead of overthinking it. You can tell by vibes if you can invite yourself or like add to the conversation. Okay, now I want to get into the last thing. So I want to add to this is like, how and where do you then find friends? And as an adult, you have to evolve everything around your current lifestyle, and be in mind that your lifestyle will change. Okay, definitely in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Okay, I am noticing that I am in the phase that people around me are, traveling, are getting married, are buying houses, are having serious corporate jobs, you know. And for me, it doesn't feel as harsh. It still feels like sometimes I hear news from a friend. I'm like, well, dang, okay, they just left or something. But I, knowing that I am in this phase, and I accepted also the fact that I need to revolve my friendship around my lifestyle, and other people are actually doing the same. You don't, doesn't come off as personal when, some friendships water down, or, some friendships require less, maintenance, or like more maintenance, if you are, for example, a student, like I am transitioning actually from being a student to actually not being a student. And I have been a student for like 8+ years. And what I noticed is that friendship in my student life revolved about around after college activities, going to the library, doing activities, especially for like students, workshops, those types of things. But now I'm gonna enter like in a new adult life era where I'm not a student anymore. And people like to say like, no, as you are not a student anymore, it's harder to make friends. I disagree with that, because my philosophical take stands that you just have to surround your friendship, the way you form friendship, with your new lifestyle. Okay, you will work a lot, or like you will not be a student anymore. Okay, there are other places that people are still outside. Okay, you just have to look uh, good enough, you know. For example, what activities do you like to do? Sports, you know, some belly dancing classes very specifically. If you know, you know. Or like maybe you like music, and some sports, I'm not gonna lie, some activities are way more introverted. If you like drawing and reading, then you have to put out a little more effort. Maybe you can start your own book club. Maybe you can start your own art community. I know people who done this. There's this girl I know. She has her own art community, and yeah, it's nice. I get to meet as well, like her community, and like it's not hard, I want to say, to make friends or put yourself in social situations as a young adult when you feel like your options are limited. Do it with what you have, even with family. Some people don't have particular external friends, but are close with some sort of family. Maybe you are, you know, very well connected with your niece, you know, maybe your niece, you and your niece can, you know, join things together, or you know, go out and meet more people. Maybe your niece already has like um maybe one friend more than you that you haven't met. And one thing you have in the need also in the back of your mind is that you will not be best friends with everybody. I think the also this mindset of best friends needs to be erased once you are 16 plus. Honestly, best best friend, the whole best friend thing plays into the whole friend, seeing friendship as an aesthetic. I notice in your adult life you will not have best friends. You will have the concept of a best friend, definitely, but you will not call each other usually like the best friend. It's usually just the person that you really trust, that knows you can, yeah, you can tell them everything and they're gonna be there for you, you know. But I feel like the label best friend sometimes is actually sometimes like a curse or something. Some I don't know, yeah, because as soon as you start in my experience, by the way, and also what I see in story times and and stuff, when people call people best friends, it's like all of a sudden an unnecessary high bar is being set, and when that bar is not reached all of the time, it's just a whole wave of disappointments. And as soon as you know, people are ex best friends. So just leave that whole best friend thing out of your adult friendship thing mindset. And actually, don't forget the people you know but are not your friends, you know, your acquaintances. I am not a fan personally of, you know, some in particular cases you should never be friends, for example, with people at work. I know not everyone agrees with that, but yeah, it depends on the type of work, you know. It really depends. It really depends, by the way. But you know, you need to classify. I think this is a nice exercise if you're an analytical person. Classify the people you know, put out a map, draw them by name, and classify people as acquaintances and warmer people slash friends. Okay? And I am a visual person. Actually, I could also use that to make like an inner spider web of connection and network you actually have. Because do you have LinkedIn? LinkedIn or not, but people are way more connected, networked as they think. You know, you know someone that knows someone, someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. Okay? I think you are, there's the saying that like you are five people ahead, or like no, you are five people previous from meeting a very important or influential person. And I think really that's true, by the way. You know, if you really want to reach, this is another sub genre of people, but if you want to put yourself in a high society circle, go meet the people you meet, the people you meet, the people you need, the people you meet, the people you need. You will get there, by the way. But I hope this video helps with like adult friendships. I can talk about a lot of subplots, as you can tell. it's really my topic. I for a minute, I'm not gonna lie, it was really my topic. But let me know if it helped you. Don't be discouraged. There are friendships for you. What you can also do, like me, you can put out videos of yourself. If you're shy, you can practice with speaking, with finding what you actually like to do. Because sometimes you don't have a whole hobby set ready yet, but that's also fine. So don't feel like you have to be like package ready, but just be confident. If you are confident, you exert this aura that people like, and want actually to genuine be with your friend. You don't actually want friends that are just in your life because you are a great student, because you let people use you. Don't be that person, okay? You are better than that. You're worth it. Maybelline, you're worth it. Okay, but on a serious note, bye bye.